reason I wanted my first video to be called No One Cares About You is because I'm kind of doing the opposite of what I plan to do, or really just the opposite of the advice I give everyone when they're asking me about social media or they're starting social media. A lot of people do what I consider to be, or what I call, I'm sure this is a phrase somewhere, but I call it selfish content. And it's, I think when a lot of people start, it's sort of what they think of it as what they want to put out rather than what people want to watch. And this kind of goes for business too, like products and things like that. And I think it's just important to realize that, you know, not only who you're trying to reach, but also just that it's really not about you, and nobody's going to care about you until later on. And it sounds shitty to hear, and it sounds like super harsh, but a lot of the times what a lot of people need to hear, like, nobody cares about you. You kind of have to earn the right to have people care about you. If you say, oh, I ate a banana for lunch and now I'm going to work out. Maybe if you're a bodybuilder. But the point is, if you're not providing value to people, they have no reason to care about what you're doing. So if you're just talking about that, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you. But essentially, that's why I think this channel is kind of funny, but I will explain why I'm doing it this way. I think really the main purpose of this channel is, one, to just document for myself. So I can look back on the things that I've learned and make sure, and really just see the growth, and also, you know, make sure I don't repeat the same mistakes multiple times. And I've noticed a lot of my heroes kind of do that. They just kind of talk like this without really trying to build a following. And I've done that in the past. I've tried to build followings and whatnot. But I'm curious to see what happens if I just do what I want, because every time it gets to a point where I'm not making the content I want because I'm so focused on serving the audience. But you know, I think you can kind of only do that for so long in a creating space before you really start, you veer too far off that path. You go so far on the audience first to where you're like, wait, I'm like making content or whatever on something that I don't even like anymore. Like, this is something completely different. And you grow as a person, you know, you grow out of things. So I think the best part about what I'm doing here is that the audience can grow with me and also outgrow me. And I don't really expect anyone to watch or care, and that's not my goal. If I did, I would probably be doing crazy edits. I'd be doing something more entertaining, but it's just not the purpose. I'm not trying to make money off of this, at least right now. Maybe I will in the future. I'm not going to put anything set in stone, but really the goal right now is just to, you know, put stuff out there, put things out that I've learned. You know, I always wish that somebody who watches these people like Hormozi, like Naval, Ravikant, like those people, somebody kind of my age that's every day trying to take that advice and implement it, and would document it and talk about how it's going, really, just if this shit works. You know, a lot of us see them at the top of the mountain, but we're like, who's learning from this, and how's it going? Like, how is this actually applicable? And so, normal guy, and I'm gonna talk about the things I've learned and talk about, you know, the struggles. A lot of people make things seem a lot easier than they are, and it's not to their fault. I think they just, you know, once you learn something, you kind of feel like you've always known it. You know, you're like, it's like in school, like everyone knows 2 + 2 = 4, and if somebody doesn't, you treat them like an idiot. But how do you think you know that? Somebody told you, somebody taught you. So it's the same thing that, you know, they talk about, oh, making money so easy, yada yada, but it's because they learned it. So we're all gonna learn together here, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it actually goes. But all of that to say, the ultimate goal here is not to build the audience. It's not to do the crazy titles or the thumbnails, and maybe I will in the future. Like I said, nothing's set in stone, but right now it's just to document. And if anyone wants to come along for the ride, cool. But I I think it is, I'm trying to do the opposite, and we're going to see how it goes with me just straight up talking about what I'm trying to do here. And I also want to be transparent. I'm not oblivious to the fact that having a personal brand is very valuable, of course. So people knowing my face would make it a lot easier to get clients. They're going to trust me more because I have a reputation on the line. You know, I'm not going to say just because you have a personal brand doesn't mean you're not going to screw people over. Plenty of people do. But it definitely decreases the odds. It's kind of like having a website. Like any scammer could have a website, but if you don't have one, it's kind of like, you know? So I think that is a big part of it. And also just a lot of opportunities come with having a personal brand. And but most importantly, it's just something fun that I'm going to do and just not really put a lot of pressure on for once. And just kind of post what I want. And if nothing else, you know, 3 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, I may have a cool little vault to look back on and see what I learned. But yeah, I don't expect a following. But just remember, nobody cares about you. I don't care about you, and I don't expect you to care about me. But yeah, hopefully you get some value out of it, and who knows, maybe you will care about me. But don't expect you to, and I'm not rooting for you to. So there you go.